The Boston Marathon, the most iconic race on the planet. My brother was lucky enough to run it for the second time this past weekend. And in this episode, you're going to hear all about it, from the prep, the travel, the issues that he had, his confidence going in, his pre-race problems, how he did, and his key takeaways from running the coolest race on the planet. So Charlie had some goals. Charlie has some goals. And one of the things that Charlie and I do as brothers is we push each other quite a bit. And we also set very, very high expectations for ourselves. So sometimes the race doesn't go our way. And then even a great result like a 3:10 at the Boston Marathon gets, clouded with kind of awkward silence. And yeah, I could have done this. I could have done that. Bottom line, Charlie crushed this race, had very high expectations for himself. So as a result, he sounds a little disappointed in this episode. I'm proud of him. Fantastic race. It's the Boston Marathon. Marathons are hard. This race particularly is hard with 4 hills at the back end. This is Charlie and I talking about the most iconic race on the planet. And towards the end, we talk about my prep for the London Marathon, which is coming up next week, episode 114 of The Running Journey. Enjoy. All right, I'm sitting here live with my brother, Charlie Tatro, who just completed the most iconic race on the planet, the Boston Marathon. He did this yesterday. I actually didn't know where you'd be today. I didn't know if you were flying back because you ran this like a day ago.
Yep. 1 day and a couple hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So you flew last night or you flew this morning?
I flew yesterday at 6 p.m.
Oh, so right after the marathon. Well, relatively soon after the marathon you flew. So yeah. I'm not gonna. First question: how do you feel today?
I feel a little stiff. I felt pretty good yesterday, but today I'm a little stiff and a little tired. But everything's all good.
Okay, so I'll set the stage. So you ran a 3:10. So you had kind of said before, kind of is what you thought you would run, something around there. That's the fitness level you thought you were at. I want to take you through the race. First off though, did you enjoy it? Was it a great time? Tell me, like, how did you? Big picture emotions. How was it?
So the trip to Boston was very short, and I enjoyed the trip to Boston. The race experience wasn't that good.
No.
I mean, it was hard.
Yeah, marathons are hard. Some guy I know says that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into that. So you said the trip to Boston was too short. Do you think it was too short? Do you wish you would have gone out a day or two earlier?
Yeah, so we got there. So first of all, my flight.
You left Saturday
morning. We were scheduled.
Monday marathon.
Yeah, we were scheduled to arrive at 2:30 p.m. But something happened with our flights, so I ended up having to reroute, and we got there at 7 p.m. on Saturday.
Okay, so when did you find out that they were canceling or moving your flights or delayed your flight? Just kind of when you got there?
We actually boarded, and then I think we had to deboard. I don't know what the word is.
Deplane?
Deplane, yeah. And then I had to take a different flight.
So they put all of you guys on a different flight, or did they have?
No, just the people going through Boston. So, yeah. So that was not a good start. I was a little tired. But then we got there. My wife and I went to see a good show. It was her birthday.
On Friday night? Sorry, on Saturday night?
Saturday night, yeah.
So you got there at 7 and you had time to see a show?
We had to rush. We had to get there so the show was at 8 p.m. Landed at 7:10, and we were able to make the show, yeah.
So you went straight there, and they just kept your luggage?
Yeah, they kept our bags, yeah.
Nice. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, you messaged me. You went to see Shucked.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. And then Saturday was just a kind of a lazy day, but my wife and I went and we did the hop on and off tour.
Oh, yeah, in Boston.
Yeah, so that was great. We only did a couple stops. Traffic was really bad. Celtics were playing, and
It's the same one we did last year.
Red
You and I.
Sox were playing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We did a couple different stops. Finally got to the expo, got my bib at like 3 p.m. And yeah, and then
How was the expo?
Expo was okay. I mean, it was smaller than I remembered, but like nothing compared to New York, I would say. I don't know, but we did sit for a talk. There was a pretty good talker. There was all these amputee athletes, and one of them was talking, and he was just like, "How do you run a marathon?" And it was good.
So he had no legs.
No legs, no. But
And
he was before he lost his legs. He was like a Div 1 track athlete or cross country athlete, and then talked about running marathons after he ran his first marathon without legs.
Cool. So he's got like prosthetics.
Yeah, prosthetics. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Like the Blade Runner.
Yeah, looked like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen these guys. Like I saw one at either Boston or New York, both or Chicago. I've seen kind of like
There's always a few. I feel like there was definitely a few. Yeah. A lot of blind runners too. Yeah. So that was Saturday. Saturday I went for dinner. Dinner was amazing.
What'd you guys do for dinner? Like just a local place?
Yeah, just a restaurant. Yeah.
And you crushed your pasta?
I did.
But you said that you weren't, when I texted you on Saturday night or on Sunday night, you said you were like a 5 on 10.
Yeah, I was not optimistic. I don't know. I think it was
the travel.
Yeah, just a lot of travel. So I think I was feeling really good before I went to Germany. And I went to Germany, and then I was feeling not as good. And then I had a good week of training after at some point. Then I felt good. And then this week I traveled again. So I kind of was just feeling a little bit.
You traveled before going to Bath, to be clear. Yeah, you went to Pennsylvania for 3 days.
Yeah.
Came back on the Friday and then flew back on the Saturday?
I came back Thursday night and then flew back Saturday. So I feel like I was just, for some reason, I was trying to stay positive, but I just kind of had this negative feeling. It's hard to.
Do you think the negative feeling was, I'm going to frame this as maybe you realizing that the travel had impacted you negatively and your body just wasn't in a 3-hour shape? Is that possible that you knew that?
No, I think it was like I was trying to convince myself that it didn't affect me, but in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe it did. I didn't know. Like I didn't know either way, but I was like, hopefully it doesn't affect me. But I was
you
like,
felt it.
I don't know that I felt it. I just was like worried about it. And I
travel
think
is tough, man.
I think that just put me like I was a little bit more. And also, like last year, training went 100% perfectly. This year, I didn't have nearly as much training. I had a couple good workouts this year.
So what did you do last year again?
Remind me. Time?
Yeah.
303.50, but way harder conditions.
Way hard. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It was just I felt like maybe had I had like everything go right, that I could have had a chance for like close to 3, but I don't know. I was pretty negative going into it, even though I was trying to like stay positive. It was hard to not be, So
why do you think you were so negative? Because of the travel specifically, or
just
other stuff?
That and a lot of other things that didn't go well in training compared to last year.
Got it. So race is out like 10 o'clock. Well, I watched it here. They get the wheelchairs out, or like before that at like 9:30. I think they get the wheelchairs out. Sorry, 9 o'clock to get the wheelchairs out, or 8:30 my time. So 9:30 your time. Then they get the elite, and you were like a 10:30 start, something like that.
I was supposed to be a 10:25 start, but
you were right behind that 10:27 or something. You started 10:28.
Yeah, but this was this was also so being in the wave 2 compared to wave 1 really sucks.
Really?
I'm realizing. So wave 1, we didn't realize how good we had it last year being
Really?
wave 1. So wave 2, I I was like, okay, well, last year we waited 2 hours, so I'll just grab like the 8:15 bus and it'll give me plenty of time. So I showed up at 8:05
For
at
the bus.
for the bus at the grounds. Um, I took my bike to get there. Everything was smooth getting the bike there. I show up 8:05. Takes me 30 minutes just to get into the little square.
Oh, we got right through last year.
Yeah. So it took me I was waiting 30 minutes there. Then I was like, okay, last year I had to pee so bad, so I'm gonna go pee before I grab the bus. Like, I don't care if it costs me a couple minutes. Ended up waiting for like another 15 minutes to pee. Then I got on the bus. So by the time we left, it was 8:52 on the bus. And 20 minutes in, again, I had to pee like ridiculously. Like, by the end of the bus ride, I was like standing, sitting, standing. I could like it was probably the most I've ever had to pee in my entire life. So we get there. It took an hour 10. So I guess because it's later, traffic is worse. Took an hour 10 to get there. So I was there at 10:10.
Okay,
That's
for
when,
a 10:25 start.
yeah, 10:25 start.
That's like that marathon we did in
Yeah, but if it would have been like that, it would have been all right. So then I was like, okay. So I go. I'm like, okay, I need to pee like the worst that I've ever had to in my entire life. Some woman like just peed in the bus in a bag. I was like, I wish I could do that, but I didn't have a bag. Anyways, so I went, and then every porta potty had huge lineups. But what I should have done, and I didn't realize, is we got dropped off in a different spot. I got dropped off in a different spot for wave 2 than last year when we got dropped off for wave 1. There's that waiting area before everything. Like where I got dropped off, it was past all of that. So had I just gone further backwards into the queue, but then I would have been farther from the starting line.
but at least
I think I could have peed right away. So I've been like having to pee for like 40 minutes here.
You're probably losing your mind right now.
I am losing my mind. So I was just like, okay, I know there's like porta potties right at the start. Remember there was that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't remember how far it is. So I just started jogging because it was like so bad. I just needed to get there, right? So I jogged all the way to there. That took me so I had to weave through people, weave through traffic. I get there, there's another line up there, but I could tell it was going quick because it's that place where there's like a million urinals inside out the cross with the 4. So I get there, I take a pee that's like 3, like it's the longest pee I've ever had in my life. And then I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to stay in this area because I'm going to need to do another one in like 2 minutes. So I stayed for like 2 minutes, and then I went to pee again, and then I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's all I got. So then I immediately headed to the
because now it's 10:20.
Yeah, it was 10:22. It looked on my watch when I checked. So I immediately started going to the start line. And if I had to do it over again, I would I'd rather be 2 hours early. And wait 2 hours than do that. I think it helps to like I wasn't calm when I started. I felt like I had been stressed for about an hour before even started.
You certainly don't want to rush to get to your start line. Absolutely. But you had no clue it was going to be that slow. It was a totally different experience.
So wave 2 is, I feel like wave 2. So then I just walked up to the line, and I didn't want to run up to the line. So I just walked up to it. So I feel like maybe by the time I got there, it was maybe corral 4 or 5 in wave 2, and I was supposed to be in corral 2. So I didn't really miss my starting time by much, but I had to weave like crazy at the beginning. My first mile. Yeah. So anyways, that's when the race started. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm just running a marathon. Like I can't, like, how you kind of need, I feel like you kind of before a marathon, you kind of need to just calm down and like relax for a minute or two before you start. And then or even if you wait like 30 minutes you kind of get excited to start by then, right? So I never got that experience. It was like I just got there and I'm like, I guess I got to run my marathon. It was like there's no anticipation like I usually get. So I'm just gonna pull my first mile. I don't know.
First kilometer, 4:11.
What's that?
First kilometer was 4:11.
Yeah. So that's because I was just weaving through so many people. So I checked my actual time. So like I pressed the button every mile except for a couple I missed. But
okay.
So so the start was okay. What's next? Do you want me to go through?
No, hold on. So I've had that experience. I think I can only remember one experience I've had where two experiences I had where I rushed to the start and I didn't have time to decompress and I didn't have time to. One of them, it went really well. And one of them was not well at all. And I remember thinking, at least, so my heart rate was higher. So that's obviously a big disadvantage because you're stressed out, right?
Yeah.
But I remember one of them, I was like, at least I don't have to think. Like I don't have time to stress out. I don't have time to, but
also you don't get like, I feel like for me, every time it's been like that, it's been bad, but you don't get to like focus and like,
right.
And like get excited about the race a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah. That's I feel like you missed on the experience.
Yeah, I did because so next time if I do it next year, like if I ran, I'm not sure if I ran fast enough this year, but if I do it next year, I'll be even further back in wave 2. I would definitely err on showing up a little earlier.
Hey, remind me how they track the corrals and stuff to make sure you're in the right corral? They scan, they don't let you go in if you don't. I don't remember how they do that.
No, there's just tons of people checking your bib as you go.
Okay, as you go in, and they would point you to the side if you weren't in the right.
Yeah.
Okay. The Boston qualifier, congrats on a Boston qualifier time. You just mentioned you don't know if you ran fast enough. We talked about it on our episode with Becca, or I forget who it was. Your time is 3:15, but you figure it's going to be 4 to 5 minutes faster. 3 to 5 minutes.
I had previously said that I thought it'd be 3 minutes faster.
3. Okay, but you ran faster than that by a little bit.
Yeah, so I ran 4 minutes and 11 seconds under the qualifying time.
Okay. When is the window for Boston qualifying times? Is it November to November still?
No, it's September to September.
Does the Chicago Marathon fall in it or no?
No, that's the one you just did would. Yeah.
Mine would, but not yours for the one we're going to do in September.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has to be okay. So that might be the only chance you get to qualify for it.
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, definitely. I guess I could go and run Fargo maybe. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why people don't do marathons in 0 degrees. Like these Patrick Riddell 10Ks and 5Ks, like those are they're nice and cool. Like it wasn't Boston had perfect weather, but I would still prefer the Patrick Riddell 0 degrees over.
Absolutely. Like to me, that is so obvious, but I guess some people from down south disagree with us.
Yeah. Like from what I've read, people say it's like 10 Celsius is the ideal, but
you started at what temperature this race? 7 or something? 6?
No, it was 13 throughout, pretty much.
13 throughout. Okay, sorry. I thought it was. Oh yeah, the low was 7 that day, but you didn't. So,
but the thing is, in Boston, it goes up so early, so it was pretty much the high right away.
Okay, so it was kind of 13 the whole time.
And actually, I think it was a little bit warmer by the end, and the sun was out, and it was supposed to be cloudy, but the sun was out the entire time.
Okay, ended up getting 14, 15 maybe.
It wasn't hot. Like
it wasn't hot.
I'm not it was way better than last year. Like it was night and day.
Okay.
it wasn't hot. Like it was manageable, but still, I like it doesn't feel as good as to me as running in like 2 degrees.
Yeah, Patrick Riddell, that 10K was just like felt
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you go out running today, it's already almost too hot in Winnipeg. Like that happened quick.
Well, and part of it might be just that I've been running in that type of weather for like 2-3 months, or so.
That was secretly my hope with the CMV Canada Half Marathon, that the track would be cool, clear. We'd have a couple warm days, and that it would be a fast
Yeah.
track. But we didn't get that. We got a blizzard instead. Okay, so you started your first mile. You're navigating. You're going through everyone. You're downhill in that first mile quite a bit, and then you kind of what looked like. So for me, I kind of booked the morning off, and I was tracking and I was following everyone on the app, and I could only get every 5K is the only time I could get an update on your pace. So I got your first 5K. I think you came in right where I thought you were going to come in, 6:52, I think, or 6:54, I think it said.
Yeah, so I have that I was 13 seconds behind, or 13 seconds behind my plan. So I wrote down my plan and my actual just now.
Okay.
And I was about 13 seconds behind my plan after 3 miles.
Okay,
And
I thought your plan was a little slower than race pace.
Well, yeah, but it's downhill, so I mean, sorry, slower effort. So I adjusted for elevation.
Got it.
So I felt like the first mile I was just jogging. That's kind of how it felt, because there's just so much traffic. First mile I did it in 7:04, and then the next 2 miles were 6:47, 6:49, which puts me at like 13 seconds slower than what my plan was.
Okay. After the first 5K.
Well, 3 miles. 3 miles. Pretty close to 5K. Yeah. So when I checked my watch at 5K, it said 21:15.
How did you feel there?
I felt like it was doable. Like at that point, I felt like it was doable.
Were you checking your heart rate much?
Not at that point. That point, it honestly, it wasn't the heart rate that got me.
Okay. Okay, so you did the first 3 miles. You still think, all right, I'm a tad behind, 13 seconds. I make that up, no sweat at the end. Just keep on this pace, and
yeah, I felt good. I felt good. Well, the first couple miles, just a lot of weaving, right? Yeah. So that's why I was saying, okay, that's why I'm 13 seconds behind. It's fine. Don't force it,
And then the next 5K, I think you came in. Well, you'll tell me, but I have like 6:57 in my head or something like that.
Yeah, so that's because at mile 5, I had to pee. So after all that trying to pee before the race, I still had to pee so bad. So mile 5, it was 40 seconds took me to pee about. It's a big one.
Wow.
So
that's in or around Framingham, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, I just went in the bush. Right.
Yeah.
So I did that mile in 7:20, but I had to sprint a little bit because it was actually like a 6:40 mile.
Right, with a 40-second break.
Yeah. So then I had to so then I was 17 seconds after mile 5 behind.
Hey, can I ask you before this? So, how much water did you drink the morning of coffee, or is it just kind of your same regular routine and you were nervous, or did you piss more than normally?
I think maybe it's the oatmeal that does it.
Okay.
Because I had 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. No, I had 2 cups of coffee only. I mean, I drank a lot of water the night before.
What time did you get up?
I got up. No. I was up on and off at 4, and then tried to sleep again 5. Tried to sleep. I slept pretty good, but I think it was, so I had 2 cups of coffee, but I had 3 bowls of oatmeal. So I feel like maybe it's the oatmeal that just makes me have to pee so much. Anyways, I don't think it's a problem in a normal race where I have 2 hours. Had I peed 4 times before, I would have been.
Did you
it would
consider?
have been fine. It wasn't the consumption. It's just my lack of opportunity to pee.
Hey, don't get upset. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking. Do you think? Did you consider maybe just saying, uh, "Shit, maybe I need to pee more, and I'm just gonna start at 10:40."
Oh yeah, absolutely considered that.
And you said, "No, it's too much. It's the heat.
It's going to be too much traffic was kind of what I was worried
Yeah,
about.
the Rob in Chicago experience.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant."
Well, it's worse,
So
and it's bad because like they're going. Let's say they're going 7:30s, and you're trying to go 6:50s. It's kind of like you're just going a little bit faster than them.
yeah, at least I was passing 4-hour runners, so it was like I'd blow right by him at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, passing someone barely faster than you is awkward for sure. So you thought about it, but you're like, no, I pissed twice. That was a long piss. I'm probably good. So you didn't.
No, I knew I'd have to piss. I knew I'd have to piss again, but I was like, I don't know. I debated. It could have gone either way. Yeah.
Okay, so you pissed on mile 5. You're still just a little bit behind 3-hour pace. Do you
Well,
still think
yeah. Yeah. 17 I have here. I was behind of my plan at mile 5.
17 seconds though in
Yeah.
total is
Yeah.
not that much really?
Yeah.
And so I saw that and I was like, okay, he's probably, I don't know. I thought he's seeing to see if he feels it, is what I thought. And if
Yeah.
he doesn't feel it, he'll slow down.
Yeah.
And if he's feeling it, he doesn't want to not try, right? You didn't go all that way to not try, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't really believe in myself enough, I think, to be able to do it. I think that was one of the problems. Because I don't know. Now that I'm reflecting back on other races where I did accomplish my goals, I really believed I would do them. And yesterday was like maybe, there's been other times where let's say I exceeded my expectations. I feel like maybe that's the approach I should have taken, like just try to do a 305 and then if at the end, because there's been some times where I was like one time I went in and I was like 130 for a half, and I was like 134 is probably the best I can do today, and I end up running a 129. So it's almost like better to have lower expectations to PR sometimes, I feel, as opposed to I was like I had a 3, but I had like in my head I was like I don't think I like, you know what I mean? I had no confidence that I could actually do it.
It's almost like you're bearing this huge burden for all these months and
Yeah.
months of training, and it's like it's
Like
not only
had I gone in there maybe thinking, okay, let's do a 310. Let's plan for a 310. And then it would have felt maybe easy for the first half, and then I would have maybe built up my confidence throughout the race, and then at the end I could have maybe finished strong, as opposed to go out for a 3 and then like lose confidence as the race goes on. And then I mean, yeah, so let's keep going. But yeah, just reflecting a little bit
I
back
think this
on
is
different approaches that have actually worked or not worked in the past.
well, I think this is the most important piece of this recap is this personal reflection and lessons learned and
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
do you think that the fact that I had a lot of confidence in you was I a problem?
No,
Because
no, no.
I would see
No,
you
no.
do
Okay. So when I had 1 week where I had 2 good workouts
yeah.
that gave me belief in myself, and then I did the 10K, and I had a
Crushed
good
it.
race, and like I did a 39:15, and I like lost a lot of time because I crashed into a guy, and I mean, so I thought maybe there was a possibility. So it's me putting pressure on myself a little bit. Um, so because I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've qualified for Boston. This was my 4th time qualifying for Boston. It doesn't like move the needle as much now, just qualifying for Boston. Doing a sub 3 would be something that I would have been really proud of. So probably putting too much pressure. Just let it happen, and I think sometimes it just happens. It's like that first time I broke 130. I just had no expectation, and it just happened.
Or that first time we broke 330.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
that? Remember that day? It was just like
yeah.
we didn't think
We
330
thought
was
340
possible.
or something that day,
Yeah,
right?
and we ended up, and even like, no, that's different than the first time we qualified for Boston. Because the first time we qualified for Boston, we both kind of back of our minds knew we'd do well. We had trained so much, and our training was on schedule. But that first time we broke 330, I'd say was comparable. We just didn't know what to expect, and
Yeah.
we set
And I
expectations.
think so I want to give a shout out to a guy that I missed the interview for, but he was a guest on our show here. He ran a 229.
Yeah, I
And
was going to talk about him, but yeah, go give him a shout out.
like, it's amazing. And I think
You have to say his name if you're going to give him a shout out.
Tristan De Silva. So congrats to him. I think
2 episodes ago, if you've not caught the Tristan De Silva episode, go listen to it. 2 episodes ago, phenomenal interview pre-Boston. He talks about his goals. The guy does a lot of miles. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what happened to him. Like, he was going in there just saying, I'm going to do a 240. It's my prep race for Fargo, right? So he put no pressure on himself, and he ends up running a 229. So yeah, it's amazing.
I called it that day when I interviewed him. I said, dude, you're doing 200-kilometer weeks here.
Yeah.
Your tempos are at this pace. Like, I told him, you're going to do 235. You might break 230. I told him that.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm not a coach or anything, but like, yeah. And he was like, oh no, 240, different than he crushed it. He did really well.
Yeah, no, it's like 220. Like, yeah.
He was 190th or something overall.
Yeah, 179th. Yeah.
179th overall in the Boston Marathon. So like, did you see that Canadian too finished 6th or something?
No.
Yeah.
I was busy running the Boston Marathon.
Anyways, a Canadian finished 6th, 207 or something. So you're still thinking it's possible here at mile 5, right? Or am I wrong? Mile 5,
Yeah,
6.
yeah. So I was thinking it was possible. Still, right? I was feeling okay.
And to be clear, we're talking about sub 3. Possible to do a sub 3. Go ahead.
Yeah. So mile 7, so I did mile 6 and 7. I knew I was a little behind pace, and what I have here is I ran mile 6 in 6:40, and I ran mile 7. These are like more flat miles.
Yeah.
And I ran mile 7 in 6:45, and at that point I was only 2 seconds back. So I know that 10K says that I was farther behind there, but that's because I ran 6 and 7 like faster than.
Yeah, no, all those kilometers on Strava all look fast. 412s, 412s.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Strava, like, it's not 100% accurate because I was losing a few seconds every time, right?
No, but it shows to me that those were among your fastest kilometers. Like, you were pushing pretty fast
so
there.
At the end of mile 7, I have here that I was 2 seconds behind pace.
Okay, so that's what I thought. I was like, he's kind of right where he wants to be right now.
Yeah, so but mile 8 was a decent mile, but it just started getting really hard. My legs were just sore. Like, it just hurt at mile 8. And I was like, especially on how Boston's always like rolling. It's always, you're never going flat. You're either going slightly downhill or uphill.
Course,
so every time I'd hit an uphill, I'd be like, God, this is killing my legs.
And you're like, oh, it's not long. It'll be fine. But then
But then I started thinking, okay, well, I have to save my legs for. So I have to save my legs for Newton, right?
For the hills.
For the Newton Hills. And I think last year I was really in good shape. And when you're not in quite as good shape, it makes me respect the course. Like, I don't remember the course being this hard last year, but maybe it's just because it's a tough course. Like, you're thinking about those hills. You're like, okay, I got to save my legs for these hills that are coming up.
Yeah, I ran a 3:27 or whatever that guy ran, and I can tell you the course was hard.
Yeah.
Last year.
So I feel like I didn't respect the course enough as well, maybe because I think last year it just went so perfectly that I even though I didn't. Yeah. So anyway, so at mile 8 is kind of when I decided I don't think I've got it. I'm like,
mile 8.
So I decided to switch my plan. At that point, I said, I'll just do 7-minute miles. Or 7:05, I think in my head, I said.
Okay.
I'll try to do 7:05s. And that became really hard by mile 10. And then, yeah. And then even the downhill miles got hard. So I hit halfway at 1:31:40, I believe.
Yeah, and you obviously had you set a new goal here, or what are you thinking
At this point, I was like, I knew how much. So I knew how. I feel like the back 9 or the back half of the Boston Marathon is like 5 minutes harder, or it's at least, well, depending on where you're at, but for me, it's probably like 4 minutes harder.
So you're thinking 1:35 at this pace, 1:36.
Plus, I'm slowing down, so I knew I was slowing
down.
I'm
310. You're already like
I was already thinking like 310 would be great at that point. Even though I was at the half at 1:31:40, I was already thinking about 310 would have been great, because I was like, I just know that course. I'm slowing down. Plus, I got the tougher course, right?
Yeah, and your heart rate's already pretty high. If you're trekking that, and you're like, okay, I won't be able to keep this, right?
Well, the interesting part is I don't think my heart rate was the limiting factor, because
the legs, you keep saying, you said.
Yeah, because like I've in the past, when I've had really good marathons, I usually kind of hit 165 at the half, around there.
Yeah.
And then it continues to increase till the end slightly.
Yeah. You kind of were below that most of the race.
I hit 165 at mile 7. Okay. I hit 165 at mile 7, and that when I decided to back off, it went back down to like 161 for those. But it honestly, I feel like it was just the pain in the legs, and I was like anticipating the Newton Hills, and I was like, I need to have legs for Newton Hills. I don't want to like walk the second half. I kept thinking that, like, I'm like, I don't want to walk this at all.
Were you thinking a little bit? You made a great comment in one of our interviews. I forget with who, but you said like, one thing that 777 taught you is day to day to day could be just dramatically different. Do you think that just this day, you just maybe the legs, because you said the legs, right? So maybe
yeah. Well, so that's the other thing I talked to Mike Patrick about. I'm like, I guess I should have listened. I told Patrick, I guess I should have listened to my coach and probably not done a really hard 10K the week before. Because maybe that affected me. Like I felt I know that there's the girl that won the gold medal this year at the Olympics. I think she won 10,000 and the marathon, or she medaled in both. So it's obviously doable for some people, but maybe not for me.
Or I'm going back to just your comment that one day to the next for sleep, for whatever.
Oh yeah, I did think of that after. I was like, I mean, I think maybe if I ran it in 2 weeks, maybe I could do much better. I could do 10 minutes faster, right? Like, I think there's more variance than we think. And it's just maybe that day just wasn't great for me. So,
yeah, because
it wasn't terrible. Like, I'm being negative.
310's a great. I'm not saying like 310. That's a Boston qualifying.
Yeah, it's still a good race. It's just that it's slightly slower than what I was expecting.
It's kind of what you thought you'd do when you were kind of replying honestly, right? You kind of said, "Oh, stretch. If everything goes perfect, I have a 1% chance of breaking 3.
Yeah,
and I'm going to try to do it." But realistically, I'm 310 shape is kind of what you said.
Yeah.
Or 305.
Well, I was hoping I was more like 305 shape, but yeah.
So now you're at the halfway point. It's funny because I had a lot of chats going with a lot of different people, and they were asking me like, what do you think, Rob? Like, is he going to break 3? And I was like,
no, not. If I'm slowing down in mile 8,
I told Grains, I said, Grains, like, perfect, negative, like he's right where he wants to be, like 131 on the front half, 128 on the back half. And I was like, 128 on the back. I was just thinking how hard that race was for me last year, the back half.
The back half is, oh man, the second half of that marathon is tough. I mean, sorry, the last 5 miles are okay, but I was just so dead by then. And
yeah, I didn't know if it was heart rate or if it was legs. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that you had deviated from your plan. I knew that at some level. And I was like, I think he's going to battle to hold on to 310. That's what I said.
Yeah.
way
Well,
harder.
that's what I started thinking about halfway point. I'm like 310 BQ would be great. That's kind of what I had in the back of my
BQ,
mind.
like, and actually be able to race it, right?
Yeah, 312. Like that was kind of my
Worst
B
case.
goal. My B goal was like,
Yeah.
sorry, my C goal was 312, but I went straight from A to C because when I started tiring there, I was doing the math and I checked my watch at the half and I said 130, 130. Course is like 5 minutes harder. I'm slowing down. If I can run a 139.40, which is kind of almost exactly what I ran, that would be great.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, I really was hoping that you wouldn't do what I did last year and like really blow up. I was like,
Well,
fuck.
and I think I was very conservative after. Once I made the decision, I was very conservative. Like you see my heart rate goes down to like 159, 160 for quite a few of the miles there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was telling myself once I got to 15, 14, 14 was a tough mile. Didn't remember how much uphill that mile was.
Okay.
14 and 15 actually. 16, the one right before, is a downhill mile, but I was like, okay, this is my rest mile before
Right.
before the hills come in. So I took that one kind of easy. But see, I wrote down that I did it in 7:17. No, sorry, 7:09, which would have been fairly easy at that point because that's
Downhill.
pretty severely downhill.
Yeah, grade adjusted. It wasn't faster than your other one.
Yeah, well, and my heart rate dropped to like 158 or something there because I was like, okay, well, I know there's 4 hills coming up here. So first hill was fine. So then my approach to the hills at that point was like, don't worry about going fast up these hills, just jog them up easy kind of thing. Like I know that it was slightly more than jogging, but in that case, it was like that's what I felt like. It was more not full, like just take them easy and make sure that when you get to 21, you have the will to finish. Because I thought about just bailing.
Did you?
Not bailing, but like just running
Coasting.
running a 330 or something.
What I did last year.
I thought about that multiple times, or even walking a bit or whatever.
Just mail it in, whatever. It's not worth it. You're going through your mind. You're all these ideas that pop up. You're like, well, I'm not doing 3 hours now. So what's the point? What's the purpose?
Yeah.
I'm glad you held on.
So my point was I want to break 312 at that point.
I kind of knew. I was like, I guarantee you he's aiming for his BQ qualifying time, whatever that is. I thought it might have been 311 in your head.
Yeah. So I did the hills and I think I managed them pretty well. Like, I mean, I was getting passed by a lot of people. I was getting passed a lot in the second half. So I kind of did the hills okay. Got to mile 22. And here I'm losing like basically every mile now. I'm losing about once I hit the half. So here I have that I was about 140 behind at the half on my goal.
Yeah.
Because I want to do 130. I'm losing about 30 to 40, 30, 40, 45 seconds a mile here, 50 seconds a mile, right up to 22. And then 22, I started going downhill and I felt okay. And I thought I was doing well, but then it still ended up being a 718 mile. So I couldn't even run downhill as fast as I wanted to. And then 726, 730, and then 24 and 25 were like just manage the marathon, like just don't, finish it, I just wanted to keep running.
Like, I feel like your finish was pretty strong, I would say, on a relative basis.
I mean, so mile 25, 754.
Okay.
No, there's no hills. I mean, there's a slight hill. There's a small hill there, but I think it's still more downhill than uphill. 24 was 730, 738. And when I turned the corner, I was so surprised though. Again, when I got to Hereford,
how quick
right,
it comes.
yeah, I was like, "What? I'm at the end already?"
Yeah, because it's not that long, the last straightaway, right? It's like, was it
No, well,
500 meters?
you turn right on Hereford and then you go
Yeah,
left on
yeah.
Boylston. So when I got to Hereford, I'm like, I can't believe I'm already like, because the whole time I was just grinding, and then all of a sudden I get here, and it's like, I still have lots in the tank. When I turned
Oh,
the
when you
corner,
started your final sprint or whatever.
yeah, when I turned the corner of Boylston, I ran pretty hard.
You
Well,
went to
not that hard.
178 on your heart rate, Strava says,
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah,
and your pace picked up. So you finished with 3 hours, 10 minutes, and
49.
49 seconds. I think that's where does that put in this? That's your third best marathon.
That would be my third best marathon. Yeah.
And if you take out the cheater, is it your second?
Yeah.
Okay, so
7 minutes lower than last year.
but big picture, it's still a very impressive time. I was watching you, and I was watching all the other people I know on the Bank of America app, and I don't know if you guys have it, anyone who's listening, but it's a really, really cool app. It's so fun to follow. I was watching one of our podcast guests, Jean-Marc Doiron, the juggler,
Yeah.
and he did his first 10K in like 35 minutes. And he did his half, he crossed it in like 116 or something. And he blew up pretty bad, but he still finished in 256. But I was watching him, and you were like catching up to him. He said, anyways, that's a great time, 255, 256. But he said that he thinks he shattered the record for most people ever to have passed anyone at the Boston Marathon. He's joking, but he said he was getting passed like crazy. I saw it on his Instagram. 20,000 people or something like that, or 2,000. I don't know. He says a lot of people passed him, but were people actually passing you, or you just feel that way?
I think there was, especially up the hills, because I was purposely taking them easy. I was getting past a lot. I think once I got throughout, it was kind of a theme though, that downhill, I run faster than most people downhill, and
Yeah,
uphill
you and I are the same.
I run slower than most people.
It's like
So
biking.
it was kind of an issue. The pacing, especially even in the beginning, I would want to go faster on the downhills because I felt like any slower I was breaking myself, but there's people in front of me, so I couldn't, right?
Every time you and I ever run together, whether it's training or whatever, you always go. You're pretty fast on the downhill.
Yeah, and yeah, my legs were killing me. So no, I don't think it was more the uphills. It's the uphills that were bothering me, not the downhills.
Yeah, no, you were talking about how many people passed you. You were just saying that like you
No,
get
I was
passed on
just
the uphill.
questioning if maybe I went too hard on the downhills, but
Oh no, I don't think you did. No. For whatever reason, your legs were not there that day as much as maybe you thought they were, but they still did a 310. Like that's, I don't
yeah,
know.
it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just I had expectations, especially I would kind of wish I wouldn't have had those 2 or 3 good workouts. I think I maybe would have done better.
The other thing that's happening here is we host a podcast. We talk at great length about our goals and we're putting it all on the line so that all of our 14 listeners, no, I'm kidding. We have way more than 14 listeners, but everyone who listens is like, they hear us talk, so now we're putting it out there. So now whether you recognize it or not, there's a little bit of pressure there that whoever listens to your show has heard me say that you could do sub 3 and you talk. So it's kind of like we're putting it out there. So we're adding pressure on ourselves for sure.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Like if we didn't have a podcast, and there'd be how many people that would know about your 3-hour goal? You'd talk
I
about
would
it
have without the podcast, I would have ran a 3:45.
a what?
Without the podcast, I would have ran a 3:45.
You would have just ghosted it in.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're gonna listen. They're gonna think oh man, no, 310 is still, 310 is a Boston qualifier. 312. I gotta break 312.
3:12, I can show my face at the next episode.
Oh. And how did I do it when I shit the bed at mine and I came back on here? Yeah, I didn't have a good day. That's all right.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you, okay, so now how, the first question I asked you is, how do you feel? You said you're sore. How do you feel like, about the whole experience? You must be happy with how it went a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I learned a few things about the Boston Marathon, like, and just actually about these big city marathons. And one is that I will take waiting 3 hours ahead of having to rush. Um, I mean, 3 hours is a long time, but the rushing at the beginning was didn't help me, I don't think. Um, the other thing is there is a positive side to having a race where you don't meet your expectations. I feel like you
I've
first
had a
of all
bunch of them. I've had a
first of
bunch of
all,
them.
you learn. Second of all, you stay hungry. I feel like when I had last so I've had 3 or 4 races where I've had 3 consecutive races where I did everything that I wanted and hoped, and I was
The
super,
10K,
super.
the backyard, the Ironman,
Yeah, that's plus Boston last year, so
plus
4 or
Boston
5,
last
plus
year.
New York. So there's 5 consecutive races that I accomplish everything that I wanted. So this one was the first one in a while, a big, big, big race that I didn't do what I wanted. Uh, but I think the advantage is that I'm gonna stay hungry and I'm gonna take care of myself and I'm gonna make sure that I'm ready for the. I want to do better at the next one, so I think that's the positive that I'm taking from it.
Are you like, are you going to run Boston every year you qualify for it?
I don't know. It's so one of the things about Boston is it's not really spectator friendly for your family, is what I'm realizing.
Agreed. Cheryl was texting me and Mini Grains and Claude, and I was like, you can maybe see them twice. Once if you go out, and then
Yeah,
like,
so I did see my wife at mile 24, but then we had set a spot to meet, and I just walked out there, and I was like so tired, sunburnt, and I just like passed out in the grass. I got there at
oh, you
2.
had a post meeting spot after the race.
Yeah, I passed out in the grass, was waiting there 2:05. I got there. So at like 2:40, I started getting worried because I'm like, okay, well, we have a flight to catch here. And anyways, my I think she only made it for like 3:15 because it's so hard for the fans to move
Oh, you
around
can't
there.
move, right?
Yeah. So
So,
I waited for like an hour after,
but
and
you
then
didn't have your phone.
I didn't have my phone, so I asked 2 strangers. I borrowed phones from strangers. I had forgotten Cheryl's number for the first one, and then for some reason it came back to me. So I texted a random person. It wasn't my wife. I thought it was with someone else's phone. And then I borrowed another guy's phone and I phoned Cheryl and I talked to her. And then once I talked to her and I knew she was still coming, then that put my mind at ease. But so I'll probably owe that guy a bit of a thank you there. So
So you guys went straight to the airport?
no, I went back to her hotel to get our bags.
You didn't shower
I cleaned myself a little bit in the
in
I did,
the
I
in
did
the
the I
Raceday?
did the bathroom shower. Yeah.
Yeah, the bathroom shower. Okay, and then straight to the airport, pretty much.
Yep.
Well, at least that airport is closed.
Yeah, no, the
You're good.
airport. I we ended up having plenty of time, which is
Yeah.
crazy because I thought we were gonna miss the flight when I couldn't find Cheryl, and then
Another panic moment or no?
moderate panic.
Moderate panic. So yes, it's not spectator friendly. I would agree with you. Uh, it is the coolest, greatest race on the planet. Becca was saying like more people than what did she say, than the Super Bowl or most well attended event on the planet.
For fans, I would imagine there's a lot of people that are observing it. Yeah,
There can't be more than New York, can there?
I thought they said New York was the biggest spectator one.
Anyways, I'm not questioning you, Becca. I'm just
Yeah,
like, because those first 15 miles, you're in the country.
yeah, you can take pisses in the bush.
Yeah, like I was watching the race and I had a bit of PTSD. I was like, that's where I started realizing I couldn't follow Charlie. And that's when I started. I was like, oh, I remember that spot. Oh, I remember that spot. So when I was watching the race yesterday, it was fun and not so fun at the same time. So you're not sure if you're going to, but you're going to go next year if you qualify.
I don't know.
It's also tough. Here's the other thing. If you treat that as your A race every single year, that limits what else you can do as an A race, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could go and jog it. That would be a lot. Maybe that'd be funner.
But even like just do
because it's a tough course,
like a 320 or whatever.
330. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm like. Maybe if I'm gonna jog it, I'm gonna go slower than 320. I think.
I mean, I did that at anyways. So I think it just depends what you want to. The big answer is it depends what you want to do, and
yeah,
because you only have X many A races you can do in a year, right? It's like there's a limit. So if you're always doing Boston, that leaves you with one maybe summer kind of Ironman type thing, and maybe a fall race, right? That's your calendar.
Yeah. I think 2026. I'm just doing 10Ks, 5Ks, and 10Ks.
I said that a couple of weeks ago. I said, "Hey, do you want to like?" After I had listened to that podcast, Inspired Souls, we definitely should. I mean, it was fun. That 10K was fun, and I know that I can. I'd love to see what I can do for sure on a 10K. So now you're back. Wow, that was like you just got back, and today you're recording. You're in a good frame of mind. So now what? What's next for Charlie?
Well, I got a phone call set up with my coach tomorrow. We're gonna talk things. I don't know. I want to swim. I want to learn how to swim again
for your Ironman.
Yeah, but I'm in no hurry to start. Like, I think I just want to take it easy for a while. Do a couple fun races.
We're doing a race in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully I'm in shape by then. And
it's a 10K, right?
Yeah. What about? So we didn't talk about London. That's coming up for you. You seem to be in a really good frame of mind. What are you thinking for London?
Yeah,
when are you leaving?
I leave Thursday night. I fly overnight, so I'll get there Friday at noon for a Sunday marathon. So I was thinking about you and your travel. Mine's actually quite a bit worse because I fly overnight.
Yeah, London's way worse. Well, I mean, I guess you can sleep during the thing, but
yeah. So I'm not super excited about that. When you text me 5 on 10, travel delays, I was thinking, oh, that's gonna happen to me for sure. You're in a strange city. You haven't slept. I know I've traveled enough to know that anyways, so I'm a little, I don't know why I didn't go a day earlier than that. One more day would have been, you put all this effort into training for a marathon and then you're gonna, anyways. So, I am absolutely best possible frame of mind I could possibly be. I've not been injured at all. I don't have a speck of injury. I feel freaking good. I can crush my workouts and not feel and still feel fresh. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how that translates to a run. I have no idea if it'll be easy or hard once I start actually running at 650s for the whole race. I don't know how many miles I can do.
Is that your plan? Just 650s all the way? No, yeah. No change.
No change. 650s.
When you hit 20 miles, you can speed up if you want.
No, I have one goal, so it's to break 3, and I'm not going to sacrifice anything else for that goal. So that's all I'm doing. And man, I just hope.
But I mean, sometimes you just know it. You hit mile 20, and you know you got it, right?
Like, yeah. If I've done enough of these races to know kind of where I'm at, and mile 20 maybe. If I'm feeling good, I can maybe open it up a bit.
How is the London course? Is it pretty flat?
It's 420 feet of elevation. Boston is what, 900, 950 or something?
Yeah.
I think it's, or 390. I think it's about 40%, 45% of Boston.
Oh, so that's still a decent amount of elevation.
Wow. Chicago's like 50 or 300 and they call that the easiest marathon. Like, I think it's pretty flat. I was trying to think. I've been to London and I was trying to think, where are the hills? Because I see the map. I think it's
The
all like bridges,
overpasses.
overpasses and bridges and stuff, like New York. So fairly easy course. Weather is looking a little hotter than I was hoping. This is like you. Greenwich. Sunday, the high is 20 and it gets early. The high, like, kind of shitty. It's way too hot.
That's pretty hot. Yeah.
20 is 20 and sunny, but whatever. That's a detail in all of this. I'm ready. I'm just gonna go, and no matter what, I'm not gonna lie. This has made me think a lot about my frame of mind. You know, anyways, maybe I believe in myself, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. I did 2 mile fast finish with Phil and Simo.
Yeah, I saw that those guys were able to stick with you. Good job.
Yeah, Simo was like 2 miles at the 6:30. I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, well,
6:30.
Yeah, I did him 20. I did him at 6:30. So, well, just
too easy. 6:50.
I just wanted to.
You know, when it's only 2 miles, it's hard. You want to go fast.
Like,
I know.
Anyways,
I even did my like 2 mile fast finishes at like 6:30 because it was like.
So Simo did broke his record for fastest 2 miles. He broke 13. He's like, I've never done that, and he did it as part of and Phil, man. Shout out to Phil. That guy is in shape. He's gonna pass us both real quick. The way he's going.
It's not looking good.
Well, it's looking good for him.
Yeah. The new best runner in Run Club.
Yeah, the new best runner in Run Club. He's about 2 months away from getting the belt. 3 months away.
I mean, it's not. It's not Calais Lafinier's son there, but
yeah. Oh, Noah. That kid's got wheels. He's doing 20-minute 5Ks. And Calais doing good too. Calais shout. And I guess we got to give a shout out to all the guys that we know. So obviously Tristan had a day, 2:30. Dwayne Wheeler had a day.
Oh man, that was a good run for him. I thought, like, I don't know,
he's 3:17 or something. Was it?
I thought it was 3:21 or something, but
3:21. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it could be. I'm trying to think. Becca had a day. She finished just a bit ahead of you, 3:06:20. Lots of Manitobans. Dwayne Wheeler, he finished, and Bo. So Dwayne did a average.
I did talk to Bo, by the way. He must have started before me because I passed him at like mile 6 or something.
I think you guys started. So he did a 3:22. Bo finished up before.
But I passed him at some point, so that's what I'm saying. He must have been started slightly before me.
Yeah, he did. Finished 10 minutes behind you. Jestra Cool, awesome day, personal best. She did a, what is it, like a 3? I have it here, 3:24.
Yeah, it's pretty outstanding to do a PB at Boston.
Outstanding. That's the right word. And then our juggler friend that broke 3. Anyways, and a lot of other Manitobans, Joy Palmer and Meng, and anyways, congrats to all the Manitobans who did it. 23, I think. Greg Penner did not run, so I'm guessing he's either injured or something's going on. Yeah. So, anyways, congrats, Charlie, on the episode. Takeaways. You wanna finish with a couple, 1 or 2 takeaways? You said Boston's hard. You learn about the course. Any other takeaways?
Takeaways for me is make better to have a bit of extra time, I think, at the start line than to rush. Takeaway number 2 is even though it's hard, I think that you can get better results by having lower expectations sometimes. Don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, it does. I think you don't want to burden yourself with expectations, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So I think
this was definitely the most we've ever talked about, shared, put pressure on ourselves to beat 3. Like we've been saying for 3 months straight, this is all we want to do is break 3s. Well, me more than you, but definitely we've put a lot, and I put pressure on you for this race.
Yeah. So the perspective is also that I think had I had another 6 weeks of training, I would have had a much better chance. Um, so it was kind of just everything trying to fit in such a short period of time, trying to lose weight, trying to do all that in all that short amount of time was hard.
You did
Uh,
lose weight the way you're looking.
I was still 15 pounds more than I was last year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I did lose some weight, but it's a balancing. You don't want to go too crazy, right? But I was 15 pounds more this year than I was last year. Yeah, I don't know. I think, and then the other thing is that there's way more variance in your performance than you think. So like, don't be so hard on yourself when you suck.
Yeah. Just keep running more marathons and you'll have a wider
Yeah,
sample size.
you'll have a bigger sample size, and then you'll get the low outlier as well.
Yeah, go get that low outlier.
I want to talk about your race. So I want to ask you,
Sure.
first of all, do you have any plans? I know you mentioned that when we ran the 777 that you learned a lot about how your heart rate works. I kind of had a plan for Boston where I was like, I can let it ride to I got it to 165 at the half, and then then I can let it ride to 170 by 20, and then just go as hard as I can the rest. I didn't quite do that. Do you have any plans where you're
I
looking at heart
can't
rate?
do that much. You're better than I am at that.
Yeah, no, I know everyone's different, but like you said, you kind of learned your capacities at 777, maybe.
Yeah, I need to be kind of at one. So at 777, I was going by 3 increments every. Oh wow, I have to go back here. What was it? Every 15 minutes? So 12, 48. Yeah, I think it was that. So I start at 140 and then you have 30, 35 to go up. So, and you have to do that in 3 hours. So, like for me, it was roughly 3 for every 15 minutes. And I know it's not linear. I know it's not, but at least that's if you're able to keep it there, you know you're fine still. I knew I'm fine still. I have a
Yeah,
feeling it'll be more like you're excited, you start high and it'll just kind
yeah,
of float there the whole way.
yeah,
But I know I can do uh 20, 25 minutes above 170. That's my absolute max. And
yeah.
I know I can do about an hour above 165. So that's frame of mind for me. And at the half, I have to be below 160 ideally.
But if you're running at 650 and that you're well below that you're not going to pick it up. You'll just stay steady.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay steady. I think so. What do
Put
you
it in
think?
I would say, yeah, put it in the bank. Put the energy in the bank, and then
Maybe I'll move to like
go hard when you
649.
hit 20. When you hit mile 21, go hard.
Yeah, maybe I'll hit 649 or 648.
No.
No?
Keep it at 650. Well, I think if it's easy for you and you're still under 3 hours, then you're putting energy in the bank, right?
Yeah.
It'll make your last 6 miles so much easier. You'll even
Yeah, like those last 6 miles in LA at the Big Bear were so fun knowing that it's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna beat the 3 hours and you
yeah,
push, but there's no real consequence, right?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that would be a freaking pipe dream if I could be like a minute ahead after 6 miles or something, or a minute and a half ahead, and then you don't like, it's not a stress. That would be
No, but you don't want to bank. I'm telling you, is what I'm saying.
oh yeah,
That's
I won't be ahead. No, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be ahead. No,
but
the only
what I'm saying is you're banking energy, right?
energy. Got it. Sorry. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna bank time. Yeah, I'm gonna bank energy, which whew,
So basically, it's like if it's lower, those are like 3 miles, right?
yeah.
If it's lower than
Yeah, I know I can do like forever at 150 kind of thing, right?
yeah, exactly.
So if I'm just running at 150, then that's great. Like I know I can finish a race right there.
Plus, and then once you get to like 20, 21, you just go by feel, right? Because
Yeah,
you'll
this
know.
is I worry about this discussion because now I'm jinxing myself. Um
I mean, I have a prediction that you'll probably. This is how I do. Like, no, the whole concept of banking time is like really counterintuitive, and I don't think anyone is actually able to not do it. You know what I mean? Like,
You think I'm going to bank time? You think I'm going to go faster if I'm feeling good?
if you're feeling good, it's going to be hard for you to not like bank a few seconds a mile, which I feel like that might be the reasonable compromise, is to bank like 1 or 2 seconds per mile at the beginning.
Yeah, just in case you have a piss or something like that or whatever. Well, there wouldn't be that,
but like technically speaking, or like in theory, it's not it's suboptimal, because you'd be better off.
You're saying I'm way better off banking the energy and just making sure, if my only goal is sub 3.
Yeah,
then
but at the same time, I know that for me, that's like, and I'm pretty disciplined, and I know that not like banking, like, you never want to be over that time, because it just shoots your confidence, right?
Yeah. I think if I remove that variable from the process, if I just say run at 650 the whole way, and if you have it, you have it. It's kind of like a treadmill.
Yeah, exactly. That's that would be ideal if you could do that.
And maybe the last, like you said, 6 miles, if I'm still at 155 or whatever, then I can go a little bit.
Yeah. Well, once you know you got it, right?
Yeah. But until then, it's a treadmill. I just got to stay on the treadmill. Like every freaking 22-mile workout I did all winter, 20 miles, stay on the treadmill, Rob. Can you just stay on the treadmill? That's how I'm going to treat it. What was your line? I forget, but someone was chirping me about just, oh yeah, Todd, when I was at the Cancun half marathon, I was saying, I just treat it like a treadmill run, just stay on the treadmill at this pace. So that's definitely how I'm going to treat it. It's exciting. Oh, I'm so excited about this.
I guess there must be the same type of app.
Yeah, I checked it. They have the same app. What did you do for gels and water?
I don't even know.
You gave up the 15
My
minutes?
plan was to do a gel every 2 miles, and I think I stuck with that mostly. But at like mile 16, I was like, I don't even need any more gels.
every time that happens to me, it's always around there. I'm fine. There's only 8 miles left. What's the big deal? I'm not gonna get my time anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I don't care about gels. I think I maybe skipped a few, but I don't know. The water at the beginning, I was stressed. The other thing is, last year I did really well in just like accepting the stress of, you have to get water no matter what, because it was so hot, right?
And if you lose a few seconds, you whatever.
You just deal with the loss of a couple seconds, and it's no big deal, right? This year, I guess maybe because I was maybe slightly more on the edge, is I felt like and there was way more traffic. So the back, I guess I must have left around the middle of wave 2. Middle of wave 2 is just so packed. I think it's like kind of like middle of the bell curve there. Like it's just so packed that it was really stressing me out to get those waters. One guy yelled at me.
And you're probably like, I can't waste 5 seconds here because that mile is going to be way tougher.
Well, yeah, exactly. If I slow down by 5 seconds, I'm going to have to go hard yeah.
So you're like, I'm just going to skip the water.
I skipped like the first 2 or 3, and then I started thinking, I'm like, I can't skip water. I gotta get water.
What do they say for marathons? You should take one like every chance you get. You take a gulp.
I don't know what they say. Like Patrick just says, yeah, get a couple sips. So what I was doing after is I would get a Gatorade, get a couple sips of Gatorade, a couple sips of water, and then I would splash some water over my head. That's what I started doing. But I only probably started that at like mile 5. And I usually don't get this, but I had like the salt lines.
Oh,
at the
you were
end.
salted.
Yeah, like when you sweat lots, like where I had my shorts that all had salt lines on them, and so that's never happened to me before.
Yeah,
so
you were light. You were light
on the electrolytes, or why was that? What does that mean? That I had the salt.
You're shedding salt, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know what that means, but I've never had that before. So
why does a runner have salt lines, Chad? What he's gonna say?
Because I've seen you get them most of
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
yeah. Sweat drying. Your sweat brother electrolytes. No problem. Yeah, you're a salty sweater, or you might need to adjust your electrolyte intake. So longer races.
Yeah, so I had probably less Gatorade. I only started taking Gatorade at like mile 10
Okay.
because I was like, I'm taking a gel every 2 miles. That's what I was thinking, right? Um,
Yeah.
so I'd have to
Signs.
check. I'd have to check how many gels I have left. I bet you I have like 5 left, so I must have skipped about 5.
Anyone who's like an actual running coach listening to us right now, like these freaking idiots, they don't even know what salt lines mean. Well, we're
Yeah.
learning, and anyone
Yeah.
is learning with us. So I guess it means you lost a good amount of sodium and you were too light on the electrolytes. So salt crust, salt skin. You're probably feeling sluggish, headaches, dizziness, leg pain, cramp pain. Maybe that's why your
I
legs.
did have leg pain. I did have leg pain.
Maybe that's why your legs weren't moving. Is it
Do you
possible?
need more electrolytes if you have more gels?
I don't know.
Because maybe the caffeine in the gels, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
I'll look
I
it. I'll
imagine.
look it up. I'll look it up for the next step for my next
Okay.
race.
Yes, you often do need more electrolytes the more gels you consume.
Okay, well
Okay.
that I didn't know. So
More gels, more water loss, more sodium loss, need more electrolytes. We're learning.
really,
We're learning here.
Really?
Well, this is what chat says. I don't know if it's
Oh
true.
yeah. Okay. But so that all makes sense then.
Do
Why
people like take salt tablets on races?
I see so many people take them.
Should we?
Maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea.
So I think the reason you'd want to take them, which now makes sense to me, is let's say you don't want the sugar of the Gatorade. You just want the electrolytes. Right. So I'm already getting a gel every 2 miles. I don't need more sugar, right? I just want the electrolytes of it. Then I would be better off just taking salt.
Right. And they have like electrolyte tablets you just pop in your mouth and drink them or
So I
eat
think
them,
they're just called
crunch them like salt.
It's just salt tablets, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Probably told this story before, but after we won the cup junior C, my last year, I took a shooter of salt with Norm Lavoie in La Broquerie at Steve Brieski's cabin.
Lucky
O'Shea. And I took the shooter and we're partying. And then like an hour later, I was vomiting like profusely and it just ruined my night. And not the booze like it used to. It was salt that ruined my night. And I guess I read after it's a lot of salt to be consuming. And I probably not a smart thing to have done. But now we're taking not enough salt. I'm not going to be doing salt shooters in London, that's for sure. Okay, so I leave Thursday night for this race. I'm excited about it. I'm going to do it. And then I'm actually excited about that little relay with you the week after. And
all right.
I'm excited about this.
And what is your official prediction for the London Marathon?
I guess 3:59:30.
3:59.
Sorry, 2:59:30.
Oh, you're gonna break it by 30. Nice.
Yeah, a nice little cushion at the end. Then I'll go hard the last bit when I have it.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I don't really leave myself much options if I don't bank time, right? Because you can't really. You're limiting your upside, right?
Yes.
Which is fine. I'm not breaking 2:56, right? Like that's not going to happen. My PB.
You never know.
Yeah, no. No, that's not going to happen. So that's my one goal. And I was running with Phil and Simo, and we did our 2 miles. And I go just at the end, I go 26 of these, eh? Like you're running at
6:30 is the big difference between 6:30 and 6:50.
Feels like no, 6:30 is not 6:50, Rod. That's totally different. Like, yeah, you're right. Simo's he's a believer. Simo's a believer. Both those guys are believers. So I'm excited. Yep. Okay, we'll wrap it up. And you and I'll record next week. I decided not to go to Nashville. So I'm canceling that trip. So I was supposed to go to Nashville directly from London for my firm's thing. So I'm not going. So I'll come back and we could record just next Tuesday as per usual.
Sounds good.
Okay, right on. Congrats on running the Boston Marathon, Charlie. And three more Boston qualifiers than I have. No. Oh, I have two. I have two Boston qualifiers. You have 4. So congrats.
You have 2? Oh, Chicago was a Boston qualifier last year?
Yeah, I did 302 something. My BQ is what, 305 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so barely beat it. Probably not good
So
enough.
BQ, but not good enough to.
Yeah, BQ, but not good enough. Well, right. I need 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes. I don't have that many minutes. No, I need to do.
Well, it could be. It could be good enough. That's right, because it moved it down by 5. Could be good enough.
But it's only 2 minutes better. No, it needs to be much better than that, I think, right?
I mean, last year was 7.5.
Doesn't matter. I'm doing it here in London. It's going to be at least 5 minutes better.
Okay.
Get my 3rd BQ, hopefully. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Charlie, congrats. We will see you guys in the next episode.
All right.